Part 3 Poorness, the Sidewalk Roadmap. Fastlane 5. The road most traveled, the sidewalk. When you're the first person whose beliefs are different from what everyone else believes, you're basically saying, I'm right, and everyone else is wrong. That's a very unpleasant position to be in. It's at once exhilarating and at the same time, an invitation to be attacked. Larry Ellison. The Sidewalk Roadmap. Most people are lifelong sidewalkers, followers of the Sidewalk Roadmap. The sidewalk is the plan most followed, a contract for a pleasurable today in lieu of a more secure tomorrow. A sidewalker exists in a state of one something from broke, one album failure from broke, one business deal from broke, one gig from broke, one layoff from broke. On the sidewalk, you're always one something from being homeless, bankrupt, or back living in your parents' basement. Yes, some sidewalkers actually earn large incomes, but none of them ever obtains true wealth. Don't let the contradiction fool you. The sidewalk doesn't have an exit ramp to wealth, only a dead end sign signaling impending doom. The sidewalker's road trip is a financial treadmill with a destination that typically ceases at bankruptcy or a crisis of reckoning. What is a sidewalker? A sidewalker's financial destination doesn't exist. The plan is to have no plan. Surplus money is immediately spent on the next great gadget, the next trip, the next newer car, the next fashionable styles, or the next hot fad. Sidewalkers are carelessly trapped in a lifestyle servitude, fed by an urgent, insatiable need for pleasure, image, and instant gratification. This perpetuates a cascading cycle that spins faster every month, increasing the velocity of the burden, forever enslaving the sidewalker to their job or their business. The sidewalk is the road most traveled because it's the path of least resistance. Its siren song is instant gratification, and money is a hot potato that's quickly exchanged for the latest fix of the day. Want to witness how sidewalkers live and think? Watch the television show Judge Judy for a few hours. Daughters suing moms for $100, people denying responsibility, consequence ignorance, people wanting rent for free. Seriously, the show should be renamed Life from the Sidewalk. The mileposts of a sidewalker. The sidewalker's roadmap contains behavioral characteristics that drive the sidewalker's actions. These mindsets are signposts, or mileposts, that guide the sidewalker through life. Debt perception. Credit allows me to buy things now. Credit cards, consolidation loans, car payments, these supplement my income and help me enjoy life today. If I want it now, I'm going to get it now. Time perception. Time is abundant and I spend money like there's no tomorrow. Heck, I could be dead in 2 weeks, and you can't take it with you. Education perception. I finished school when I graduated, hooray. Money perception. If you got it, flaunt it. Why save for a rainy day? I spend every dime I earn and most of my bills are paid on time. Isn't that being fiscally responsible? Primary income source. Whatever gig pays the most is what I will do. I chase money, baby. It's all about the Benjamins. Primary wealth accelerator, net worth. I hit the casino, I buy lottery tickets, and I have an active lawsuit against an insurance company. Does that count? Wealth perception. He who dies with the most toys wins. Wealth equation. My formula for wealth is, wealth equals income plus debt. Destination. What destination? I live for today and I can't be bothered about tomorrow. Responsibility and control. Everything bad happens to me. The man is keeping me down. I am a victim. It's someone else's fault. Life perception. Live today, to hell with tomorrow. Life is too short to plan any further than 30 days out. You can't take it with you. You're only young once. Besides, I'll hit it big someday. The disturbing sidewalking facts. While these hypothetical mileposts and their commentary might sound ridiculous, they aren't. Just look at the data. Read the reports. According to a U.S. Census Bureau study conducted in 2000, before the technology implosion of 2001 and the financial crisis in 2008, here are the disturbing facts. A person under the age of 55 is 57% likely to have zero net worth, or negative net worth. An estimated 62% of all households in the United States have less than $100,000 in net worth. 89% of all, under 35, households had a net worth less than $100,000. A person in the 35 to 44 age range has a median net worth of $13,000 excluding home equity. A person in the age 45 to 54 group has a median net worth of $23,000, excluding home equity. In a 2007 Census Bureau survey, 61% of all people who earned income earned less than $35,000 per year. This data unmasks the ugliness behind the Botox injections and the luxury German sedans. Sidewalkers are the majority. An estimated 60% of adults live their lives on the sidewalk. Yes, the world is full of financial illusionists. Once the recent financial crises are factored in, the latest figures will devolve into chilling depths. I estimate that 85% of American families will have zero or negative net worth. But you can bet that they have 650 cable channels streaming into their 5 flat-screen HD TVs. If you're older than 35 and you have less than $13,000 in net worth, let me be blunt, what you are doing isn't working. You need a new roadmap. The standard sidewalker, income poor sidewalkers are the mainstream populace and reflect the lower to middle class. These sidewalkers work for modest salaries and possess all the toys to show for it, but have little savings and no retirement plan. Their future is mortgaged to the hilt in favor of a lifestyle, with purchase affordability of any extravagance determined by the monthly payment. Every dime is spoken for, car payments, clothes, or is sent to stave off the credit reaper. If you live this way, you are driving at the financial red line on a narrow road bordering a cliff. There is little hope for sidewalkers because their roadmap is corrupted by gratification, selfishness, and irresponsibility. This problematic disposition repels wealth and thrusts codependency on overburdened hosts, taxpayers, employers, friends, parents, and loved ones. Income-poor sidewalkers rationalize, life is short. Get out of my way or get run over. Sidewalking symptoms, are you on it? You haven't learned much since graduating from high school or college. I'm done with school, hooray. You change jobs frequently. Come on, MJ, I left because this other job pays more. You think people with money have it because they had rich parents, luck, or easier life circumstances than you. I've had it hard. If my parents would have paid for college, I could have had a good job. I had a rough childhood. Those people with money have no idea. You are easily impressed and seek to impress. I love designer purses, German cars, Italian clothes, and purebred dogs. I work hard for my money and I deserve it. You have poor credit. I pay my obligations most of the time, it's just that I can't always pay on time because of situations outside of my control. Besides, the banks and utility companies are big, rich companies, they are the enemy. You put faith into politicians and government to change the system, instead of focusing on how you can change yourself. A bigger government is the solution. More regulation, more programs, and more services. The government should serve the people. Rich people should pay more in taxes for their good fortune, they can afford it and I can't. You view pawnshops, payday loan stores, and credit cards as a means of supplemental income. Groceries can't wait until the next paycheck, my family has to eat. Besides, there's a sale on crab legs for only $18 a pound. You have filed for bankruptcy at least once. It wasn't my fault, I overextended myself and didn't expect to lose my job. I didn't expect a recession. I don't feel bad about bankruptcy because it wipes my slate clean and I can start over fresh. I'm already pre-approved for another credit card. You live paycheck to paycheck. Wait, doesn't everyone? You don't alert a business when they give you incorrect change in your favor. Are you crazy? If a business makes a money mistake, I'm keeping it. It's not my fault their employee screwed up. You have a negative net worth and little, if no savings. What's the point? You only make 1% on a savings account anyhow, and look at all those people who invested in the stock market. Suckers. At least if I spend every dime I can't lose it. You have no car insurance, no health insurance, and you have unprotected sex with uncommitted partners. What can I say? I'm a risk taker. I know that insurance and birth control are important, it's just not a priority. You regularly gamble at the casino or buy lottery tickets. You gotta play to win, right? Forget the odds, this time's different, I just feel it. You immerse yourself in alternate realities, including website celebrity gossip blogs, television, sports, video games, or soap operas. I just love American Idol, Lost, Survivor and People's Court. Monday through Friday from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., I know exactly where I will be. You've lost money on get-rich schemes. There's got to be an easy way to wealth. If I just buy this program/DVD series/late-night infomercial product, I'll have the secret. Get rich easy is out there. Your family cringes when you ask for money or you quit asking because you know a lecture follows. Geez, it's just $500. My parents should take care of me until I die. Don't they see how hard I have it? I mean, look at this apartment. The granite countertops need to be replaced. Can you identify a behavioral pattern? These mindsets are indicative to the sidewalk. Hopefully you're not feeling angry or defensive because that might indicate your beliefs are bred from the sidewalk roadmap. Sidewalking symptoms, are you on it? You haven't learned much since graduating from high school or college. I'm done with school, hooray. You change jobs frequently. Come on, MJ, I left because this other job pays more. You think people with money have it because they had rich parents, luck, or easier life circumstances than you. I've had it hard. If my parents would have paid for college, I could have had a good job. I had a rough childhood. Those people with money have no idea. You are easily impressed and seek to impress. I love designer purses, German cars, Italian clothes, and purebred dogs. I work hard for my money and I deserve it. You have poor credit. I pay my obligations most of the time, it's just that I can't always pay on time because of situations outside of my control. Besides, the banks and utility companies are big, rich companies, they are the enemy. You put faith into politicians and government to change the system, instead of focusing on how you can change yourself. A bigger government is the solution. More regulation, more programs, and more services. The government should serve the people. Rich people should pay more in taxes for their good fortune, they can afford it and I can't. You view pawnshops, payday loan stores, and credit cards as a means of supplemental income. Groceries can't wait until the next paycheck, my family has to eat. Besides, there's a sale on crab legs for only $18 a pound. You have filed for bankruptcy at least once. It wasn't my fault, I overextended myself and didn't expect to lose my job. I didn't expect a recession. I don't feel bad about bankruptcy because it wipes my slate clean and I can start over fresh. I'm already pre-approved for another credit card. You live paycheck to paycheck. Wait, doesn't everyone? You don't alert a business when they give you incorrect change in your favor. Are you crazy? If a business makes a money mistake, I'm keeping it. It's not my fault their employee screwed up. You have a negative net worth and little, if no savings. What's the point? You only make 1% on a savings account anyhow, and look at all those people who invested in the stock market. Suckers. At least if I spend every dime I can't lose it. You have no car insurance, no health insurance, and you have unprotected sex with uncommitted partners. What can I say? I'm a risk taker. I know that insurance and birth control are important, it's just not a priority. You regularly gamble at the casino or buy lottery tickets. You gotta play to win, right? Forget the odds, this time's different, I just feel it. You immerse yourself in alternate realities, including website celebrity gossip blogs, television, sports, video games, or soap operas. I just love American Idol, Lost, Survivor and People's Court. Monday through Friday from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., I know exactly where I will be. You've lost money on get-rich schemes. There's got to be an easy way to wealth. If I just buy this program/DVD series/late-night infomercial product, I'll have the secret. Get rich easy is out there. Your family cringes when you ask for money or you quit asking because you know a lecture follows. Geez, it's just $500. My parents should take care of me until I die. Don't they see how hard I have it? I mean, look at this apartment. The granite countertops need to be replaced. Can you identify a behavioral pattern? These mindsets are indicative to the sidewalk. Hopefully you're not feeling angry or defensive because that might indicate your beliefs are bred from the sidewalk roadmap. The affluent sidewalker, income rich. When an income rich sidewalker goes broke, it makes big news. Have you ever wondered how a rich rapper can go broke 3 years after his last album? Or why a famous actor needs to file bankruptcy a few years removed from the public spotlight? How does one transform an $80 million NBA contract into the oblivion of bankruptcy? I'll tell you, the sidewalk, where wealth equals income plus debt. You don't have to look hard to find an income-rich sidewalker. These are people who look rich, but in reality are one paycheck, one album, or one movie failure from broke. They make large incomes, with every dime spent on the next lavish accoutrement. Their lifestyle is accelerated by a big income and a big credit line. Yes, after their big income is spent, they buy more things they don't need with money they don't have, trusting fully that their large incomes will go on forever. I laughably refer to sidewalkers as all credit cards. They drive nice cars and wear expensive clothes, but are one blown gasket away from a total financial meltdown. A member of the Fastlane forum, thefastlaneforum.com, posted this slice of sidewalking overhead from a friend who works at a lending agency. A famous rapper was denied a loan for $60,000 despite putting on his application that he was making $400,000 per month, yet, after having 2 hits in the past year, he must be broke. He also had a terrible credit score. Goes to show you, money management skills and having good credit are very important, even when you are having a ton of success. Since income-rich sidewalkers earn big incomes, having designer clothes, accessories, and hobbies are commensurate with their earnings. For example, if an income-rich sidewalker earns $20,000 a month, they feel justified in buying a pair of $300 jeans. The problem is that, just like income-poor sidewalkers, an income-rich sidewalker's spending isn't satisfied until they've burned through their entire monthly income plus some. It's an irrational way to live, as if these people fear that not spending the money will cause it to disappear. Earn $50,000 a month. Spend $60,000. Earn $250,000. Spend $350,000. The money outflow always outpaces the money inflow. Someone who earns $2 million a year is susceptible to the same sidewalking pitfalls as someone who earns $20,000. Financial discipline is blind to income. Lack of financial discipline resides on the sidewalk, and it doesn't care what you earn or what you drive. The income/wealth mirage of the sidewalk. Notice how both income-poor and income-rich sidewalkers share the same problems but different scenery. The reason is, more money is not a solution to poor financial management. Poor money management is like gambling at a casino, because, over time, the house always wins. Tossing more money at the deficiency is like trying to plug a hole in a dam with more water. More money doesn't buy financial discipline. Those lacking financial discipline misuse money to delay the inevitable. If you can't live on $40,000 a year, you won't be able to live on $400,000 a year. While you might fret about your $900 mortgage payment, the income-rich sidewalker frets about his $9,000 mortgage payment. The fretting is alike, the problems are the same, only the amounts differ. Only a mindset change regarding money is a solution to money problems. To change your mindset, you must change your roadmap. Get off the sidewalk and stop equating wealth to income and debt. Chapter summary: Fastlane distinctions. A first-class ticket to the sidewalk is to have no financial plan. The sidewalk's natural gravitational pull is poorness, both in time and money. You cannot solve poor financial management with more money. You can be income rich and still ride the sidewalk dirty. If wealth is defined by income and debt, wealth is an illusion, because it is vulnerable to potholes, detours, and bumps in the road. When the income disappears, so does the illusion of wealth. Poor financial management is like gambling, the house eventually wins. Fastlane 6. Has your wealth been toxified? Wealth is the ability to fully experience life. Henry David Thoreau. Society's toxification of wealth. The lure of the sidewalk evolves from society's poisonous and toxic corruption of wealth. Society has resolutely declared wealth's definition for you. Wealth is a chauffeur-driven Rolls-Royce, chartered jets, exotic trips to the South Pacific, a mansion on the bay, and a penthouse in Las Vegas. Society says wealth is 6-carat diamond earrings, Aston Martins, and watches that cost more than most people's homes. Society says wealth is an indecent proposal to buy a romp in the sack with Demi Moore for $1 million based on the argument, the night will come and go, but the money will last a lifetime. How am I doing? Sound like wealth? Ask 10 people what is wealth, and you'll hear 10 different answers. Your wealth might be symbolized by a Lamborghini like it was for me, or it might be a farm on 70 acres in Montana and a stable full of racehorses. If you think like most, wealth is instinctually defined by lavish luxury lifestyles. Society has conditioned us to believe that wealth is an absolute construct perfected by material possessions. In fact, I've had to tailor the hook of this book to society's definition of wealth over the real definition. Why the misdirection? Like Pavlov's dogs, you've been trained to respond to it. You see, society has done a fabulous job of defining wealth for you, and unfortunately, they, again, have misled you. But don't worry, if you want luxury, the Fastlane can deliver. The Wealth Trinity. What is wealth? Wealth isn't as ambiguous as it may seem. The happiest moments in my life were when I felt true wealth. And guess what? It wasn't the day I bought my first Lamborghini. It wasn't the day I moved into a big house on a mountain or sold my company for millions. Wealth is not authored by material possessions, money, or stuff, but by what I call the 3 fundamental F's: family, relationships, fitness, health, and freedom, choice. Within this wealth trinity is where you will find true wealth and, yes, happiness. Wealth is strong-spirited familial relationships with people. Not just your family, but with people, your community, your God, and your friends. At the end of the iconic movie It's a Wonderful Life we're given the final lesson: remember, no man is a failure who has friends. This reflects on the importance of having your life shared with friends, family, and loved ones. Wealth is making a difference. Wealth is community and impacting the lives of others. Wealth cannot be experienced alone in a vacuum. Believe me, the richest moments of my life occurred when I was surrounded by a family of friends and loved ones. Second, wealth is fitness, health, vibrancy, passion, and boundless energy. If you don't have health, you lack wealth. Ask any terminally ill person what they value. Ask any cancer survivor how they suddenly feel reborn and happiness is displaced from stuff to people and experiences. There is no price on health and vibrancy. And finally, wealth is freedom and choice, freedom to live how you want to live, what, when, and where. Freedom from bosses, alarm clocks, and the pressures of money. Freedom to passionately pursue dreams. Freedom to raise your children as you see fit. And freedom from the drudgery of doing things you hate. Freedom is the liberty to live your life as you please. Wealth can't be bought for 60 easy payments. I vividly remember the day. After I sold my company in 2000, my attorney handed me my first installment payment, a check for $250,000. Yippee, $250,000. I'm rich. I made it. I mistakenly gleamed. And now it was time to announce it to the world. I immediately envisioned fast cars, designer clothes, speedboats, and an entourage of bikini-clad women. I thought I was wealthy and I was going to flaunt it. Unfortunately, that fantasy was miles from the reality. Yet, I tried. I bought a candy apple red convertible Corvette. Sports car. Check. Designer clothes from Nordstrom. Check. I researched buying a speedboat until the internet crash interrupted my orgasmic vision. I invested my newfound wealth in tech stocks and lost thousands of dollars. Within months, more than half of my wealth evaporated, and after a conversation with my accountant, another third was soon to be parted with, thanks to taxes. Ironically, in my attempt to look wealthy, real wealth slid further away. With no job, no business, no income, and a small sum of money, I couldn't support my life forever, nor the wealthy lifestyle I envisioned for someone rich. I wasn't rich at all. The illusion of wealth, looking rich in pop culture, master illusionists of wealth are called 30K millionaires. If you haven't heard this phrase, it characterizes someone who maintains an image of a millionaire, yet has no net worth. These folks aren't hard to find. They drive entry-level BMWs with custom chrome rims, they wear fancy designer clothes with gothic cursive lettering from some faux French guy, and they congregate in the VIP section of the club ordering bottle service, of course, on credit. These folks broadcast like dashing debutantes with an extraordinary A-game, but behind all the flash and cash they're miserable magicians of the sidewalk. The problem with looking wealthy versus being wealthy is that the former is easy while the latter is not. Easy credit and long-term monthly financing options, make no payments for 1 year, are tempting conduits to help you purchase the illusion of wealth. Society has led you to believe that wealth can be bought at a mall, at a car dealership, or on an infomercial. Like my initial spending spree when I cashed my first check, these appearances of wealth are supposed announcements to the world, I'm rich. But are you? When you finance an $80,000 Mercedes-Benz over 6 years because that's all you could afford, that isn't wealth, but impersonation of wealth. You're fooling yourself, and it's a fast lane detour. But don't jump the bandwagon yet. This isn't a sermon about how you can't spend money on pricey German sedans. Not at all. Wealth isn't embodied in a car but in the freedom to know that you can buy it. Freedom to walk into the dealership, know your price, pay cash, and drive away. For a gift, I bought my brother a new Lexus. It was the easiest transaction I ever did. I researched the car and determined the price I wanted to pay. I walked into the dealership with a cashier's check and told the salesman, I have a cashier's check for $44,000 and I want to buy that car. I need a yes or a no. 20 minutes later, I owned a Lexus. This is wealth, not an impersonation of wealth. When I drive to the gym, I pass a dilapidated apartment complex near the expressway. In the parking lot I always see the same car parked, a shiny black Cadillac Escalade with 22-inch chrome custom rims. Do you see the incongruity? You live in a crappy apartment but you drive a $60,000 car with $10,000 rims. Do I see monitors in those headrests and hear a 24-speaker stereo? Geez, 90 grand of image and $2 of common sense. Wouldn't it be wiser if you focused on owning a nice house in a nice neighborhood instead of leasing the tightest car in the Marbella Gardens apartment complex? Priorities: some want to look rich, while others want to be rich. Faux wealth destroys real wealth. Faux wealth is the illusion of wealth without having it. It believes society's definition of wealth. It's not realizing that the pursuit of faux wealth does something terribly destructive, it destroys real wealth. And as the chasm between real wealth and faux wealth expands, expectations are violated and misery creeps in. Like a Chinese finger cuff, the more you try to look rich, the tighter the grip of poorness becomes. Wealth cannot be purchased at a Mercedes dealership, but the destruction of your freedom can. Lost in wealth's translation is freedom. People flaunt the icons of wealth, but do not have freedom, and when you don't have freedom, it assiduously gnaws at the other true wealth elements, health and relationships. Henry Succarino buys his dream house in the Baltimore suburbs for $1.8 million. As a pharmaceutical representative for one of the leading drug makers, Henry's career is on the fast track. His big home has everything he wants, including a pool, horse stables, and an impressive 5-car garage. The purchase gives Henry a feeling of "I've made it" for about 8 weeks. Corporate politics and job cuts invade Henry's career, forcing him to work longer hours. He assumes other territories once covered by recently laid-off workers. Henry commutes 2 hours daily and is mandated to cover the entire eastern seaboard. He's either on the road, in a plane, or sleeping. The long hours have disturbing clarity. Henry rarely lives at his dream home, and when he does, he spends it sleeping or recharging from the hustle of the workweek. His relationship with his wife and kids suffers. His health declines as the stress of responsibility mount. Henry comes to a moment of truth: I'm not living a dream, but my dream is living me. Feeling trapped to the lifestyle illusion, Henry continues to work believing the ideology that wealth has its price. Notice how the destruction of freedom attacks the other sibling wealth components. Unaffordable material possessions have consequences to our health and relationships. The irony of looking wealthy is that it is an enemy to real wealth. It destroys freedom, it destroys health, and it destroys relationships. Foremost, the Millionaire Fastlane addresses the freedom portion of the wealth trinity, because freedom offers protection to health and relationships. Only you can define your freedom and how you prefer to live. If you want the freedom to fly private jets, that's it. If you want the freedom to live a minimalist lifestyle, then that is it. Everyone's freedom is different. Within your personal definition, you'll find a big piece of your wealth puzzle, as opposed to society's version, which leads to sidewalking purgatory. Chapter Summary: Fastlane Distinctions. Wealth is authored by strong familial relationships, fitness and health, and freedom, not by material possessions. Unaffordable material possessions are destructive to the wealth trinity. Fastlane 7. Misuse money and money will misuse you. Money can't buy happiness, but it can make you awfully comfortable while you're being miserable. Claire Booth. Loose money doesn't buy happiness. Does poverty? People who declare, money doesn't buy happiness, have already concluded they will never have money. This old equivocation becomes the torchbearer to their poorness. And since money doesn't buy happiness, why save it? And then logic begs, if money doesn't buy happiness, does poverty? Does the guy who owns a Ferrari automatically have a small penis while the guy behind the wheel of a Honda must be well hung? Go to Google and search the phrase, money doesn't buy happiness. Page after page concludes that money has no bearing on happiness. Should you be shocked that a Connecticut businessman earning a six-figure salary might be unhappier than a cattle herder in Kenya? Absolutely not. That fact is, these analyses fall short because they don't isolate the real thief of happiness, servitude, the antithesis of freedom. The irony is that when most people earn more money, it doesn't add freedom, it detracts. By creating lifestyle servitude, more money becomes destructive to the wealth trinity, family, fitness, and freedom. According to Creighton University's Center for Marriage and Family, debt is the leading cause of strife for the newly married. Debt and lifestyle servitude keeps people bound to work and unbound to relationships. A 2003 World Value Survey, worldvaluesurvey.com, found that the happiest people in the world have a tight sense of community and strong family bonds. After basic needs are met, security, shelter, health, food, our happiness quotient is most significantly impacted by the quality of our relationships with our partners, our family, our friends, our spirituality, and ourselves. If we are too busy chasing the next greatest gadget to strike down the competitive opulence of the Joneses, we finance our misery. The World Value Survey concluded that consumerism is the leading obstacle to happiness. The fact is, there are many millionaires and well-paid career folks who are absolutely miserable, and it has nothing to do with the money. It has to do with their freedom. Money owns them, instead of them owning their money. The well-salaried workaholic who is never home to strengthen the relationship with his wife and kids is likely to be less happier than the poor farmer in Thailand who spends half his day tending to his fields and the other half with his family. In 2009, the popular American talk show host David Letterman went public with an extortion plot by a producer from another CBS show. The men who perpetrated the alleged $2 million blackmail scam reportedly earned $214,000 a year. Yet the man claimed to be in severe financial ruin, partly due to spousal alimony payments of nearly $6,000 per month. Was this extortionist trying to blackmail a celebrity because he wanted to buy happiness? What was his real motive? I contend that he was trying to buy freedom because his debts kept him contained in servitude. Would $2 million have made a difference? Perhaps in the short term, but not in the long term because his relationship with money was already corrupted. A source close to the investigation said, he just didn't want to work anymore. In other words, he craved freedom. Normalcy is the rat race, a modern-day slavery. Why am I wealthy? Versus the guy stuck in morning traffic driving to work. I have freedom. I wake up and do what I want. I pursue dreams. I write this book without worrying about how many will sell. I hop a plane to Las Vegas for 2 weeks without worrying about jobs, bosses, or unpaid electric bills. Freedom is fantastic. Yet my lifestyle is not normal. Like wealth, society, through its get rich slow mandates, has defined normal for you. Normal is waking at 6 a.m., fighting traffic, and working 8 hours. Normal is to slave at a job Monday through Friday, save 10%, and repeat for 50 years. Normal is to buy everything on credit. Normal is to believe the illusion that the stock market will make you rich. Normal is to believe that a faster car and a bigger house will make you happy. You're conditioned to accept normal based on society's already corrupted definition of wealth, and because of it, normal itself is corrupted. Normal is modern-day slavery. 47 Part 3, Poorness, the Sidewalk Roadmap. I'm amazed that most people perilously operate one crisis away from financial ruin. We have become a nation of undisciplined spenders and consumers. We have become a nation where unfettered spending and material extravagance write our obituaries in the ink of stress. If you're held hostage to your lifestyle, you aren't wealthy, because you lack freedom. The proper use of money doesn't buy happiness when it's misused. Instead of money buying freedom, it buys bondage. Wealth and happiness are interchangeable, but only if your definition of wealth hasn't been corrupted by society's definition. Society says wealth is stuff, and because of this faulty definition, the bridge between wealth and happiness collapses. When you don't feel wealthy, you're likely to try to conjure that feeling. You buy icons of wealth to feel wealthy. You crave feelings, respect, pride, and joy. You want admiration, love, and acceptance. And what are these feelings supposed to do for you? You expect deliverance into happiness. And that's the bait. We equate the corrupted definition of wealth with happiness, and when it doesn't deliver, expectations are violated and unhappiness is the consequence. Used properly, money buys freedom, and freedom is one parcel in the wealth trinity. Freedom buys choices. The fact is, there are plenty of poor people who live richer than their overworked upper-middle-class counterparts because the latter lack freedom, they lack solid relationships, and they lack health, all deleterious effects of working a hated job 5 days a week for 50 years. Money secures one agent of the wealth formula, freedom, which is a powerful guardian to wealth's sibling ingredients, health and relationships. 1. Money buys the freedom to watch your kids grow up. 2. Money buys the freedom to pursue your craziest dreams. 3. Money buys the freedom to make a difference in the world. 4. Money buys the freedom to build and strengthen relationships. 5. Money buys the freedom to do what you love, with financial validation removed from the equation. Are any of the above likely to make you happy? I bet they will. They certainly won't make you unhappy. Lifestyle servitude, the trap of the sidewalk. Sidewalkers are embroiled in lifestyle servitude, where life is forced into a rat race, a constant tug-of-war between lifestyle extravagances and work, a self-perpetuating merry-go-round of work for income, income for lifestyle, and lifestyle for work. Wherever there's lifestyle servitude, there's a systematic erosion of freedom. 1. Work creates income. 2. Income creates lifestyle/debt, cars, boats, designer clothes. 3. Lifestyle/debt forces work. 4. Repeat. I learned about lifestyle servitude in my early 20s. After college graduation, I took a hellacious job as a construction laborer in Chicago and fought city traffic daily. The pay was more than I had ever earned at my young age, and with my increase in income, I felt wealthy. So what did I do? I elevated my lifestyle and financed the illusion of wealth. I bought my first sports car, a Mitsubishi 3000 GT. It didn't take long for me to realize that my dream car wasn't an icon of wealth, but a parasite that fed on my freedom. I hated my job, it was stressful, and it drained my energy, leaving my entrepreneurial dreams tethered. I couldn't quit. I had responsibilities, car payments, gas, and insurance. Because of my obligations to stuff, I had sentenced myself to imprisonment in a job I loathed. Yet, this type of servitude is normal. We're taught to strive for the latest and greatest regardless of consequence. It leaves us indentured for years, condemning us to lifestyle imprisonment, and the more stuff you buy that you can't afford, the longer your jail sentence becomes. If you think you can afford it, you can't think about the last time you bought a pack of gum. Did you fret over the price? Did you ask, can I afford this? Probably not. You bought the gum and it's done. The purchase had no impact on your lifestyle or your future choices. To a rich man who walks into a dealership and buys a six-figure Bentley without thought, the acts are the same. Affordability is when you don't have to think about it. If you have to think about affordability, you can't afford it because affordability carries conditions and consequences. If you buy a boat and resort to mental gymnastics over affordability, you can't afford it. Sure, you can assuage affordability and make outlandish arguments, often starting with, "I can afford this as long as I get that promotion, my mortgage doesn't adjust, my stock portfolio makes another 10% this month, my sales forecasts are double, my wife finds a job. I cancel my health insurance." This self-talk is a warning that you can't afford it. Affordability doesn't come with strings attached. You can bluff yourself, but you can't bluff the consequences. So how do you know if you can afford it? If you pay cash and your lifestyle doesn't change regardless of future circumstances, you can afford it. In other words, if you buy a boat, pay cash, and are not be affected by unexpected bumps in the road, you can afford it. Would you regret a gum purchase if you lost your job a week later? Or if your sales forecast was slashed by 50%? Nope, it wouldn't make a difference. This is how affordability is measured against your level of wealth. To overcome wealth impersonation, know what you can and can't afford. There is nothing wrong with buying boats and Lamborghinis if you can truly afford them. There is a time and a place to indulge. The Millionaire Fastlane is designed to bring you to that place. The bait of lifestyle servitude. The siren call of lifestyle servitude is the false prophet of feel-good, instant gratification and immediate pleasure. Wouldn't it be nice if everything that felt good were good? Chocolate. That supersized fast food combo meal. Sunbathing. Smoking. Unfortunately, short-term feel-good is often long-term bad. Instant gratification is a populous plague and its predominant side effects are easily spotted: debt and obesity. Most Americans are fat because the easiest and cheapest instant gratification comes from food. When you plop your butt on the recliner and maul through a can of Pringles, you choose pleasure now in lieu of pain later. If you live with your parents and you finance $45,000 over 72 months for a new Mustang based on a $31,000 a year bartender's wage, you let instant gratification win, and lifestyle servitude ensues. Wealth, like health, isn't easy and is cut from the same fabric. Their processes are identical. They require discipline, sacrifice, persistence, commitment, and yes, delayed gratification. If you can't immunize yourself from the temptations of instant gratification, you'll be hard-pressed to find success in either health or wealth. Both demand a lifestyle shift from short-term thinking, instant gratification, to long-term thinking, delayed gratification. This is the only defense to lifestyle servitude. Look for the hook. Instant gratification is the bait and lifestyle servitude is the hook. The advertising industry is on a great fishing expedition, and their goal is to hook you. Their juicy bait. That shiny new car, the bigger house, the designer clothes, the got-to-have-it-now product. Every day you are bombarded with instant gratification's bait. You can't survive life without this product. By now and life will be so much easier. You are not a success until you own one of these. Imagine how envious the neighbors will be when you buy this. These messages share one commonality: you're their prey and the peddlers don't care if you can afford it or not. Defend yourself by exposing the hook beneath the bait, the bucket of bondage which is lifestyle servitude. When instant gratification entices you to bite the bait, you become a casualty of the hook, lifestyle servitude. Instead of you owning your stuff owns you. Know wealth's enemies and what actions invite those enemies into your life. Wait until you can truly afford your lifestyle luxuries, and in the fast lane, that day can come sooner rather than later. Chapter Summary: Fast Lane Distinctions. Money doesn't buy happiness because money is used for consumer pursuits destructive to freedom. Anything destructive to freedom is destructive to the wealth trinity. Money, properly used, can buy freedom, which can lead to happiness. Happiness stems from good health, freedom, and strong interpersonal relationships, not necessarily money. Lifestyle servitude steals freedom, and what steals freedom, steals wealth. If you think you can afford it, you can't. The consequence of instant gratification is the destruction of freedom, health, and choice.